Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I'm really hoping that YouTube live streaming is going to work out okay. Last few times I've tried it, it's given me a little bit of trouble, so we're hoping for the best here. Of course, though, I have to give it an auspicious start by showing off the knife that I love to. I want to say I love to hate it, but I think really it's just plain love at this point. The Z Hunter is just so bad that it's good, and that's a beautiful freaking thing. Hold on, I think my camera lens is a little bit on the grimy side there. So today we're gonna do what's called an Ask the Nick session, where basically you just ask the Nick stuff. I, of course, being the Nick, and you, of course, being the person asking stuff. Things are, oh boy, the chat is even worse than usual tonight. Thank you, YouTube, for showing me all this. But anyways, God, this app is terrible. So I'm going to be missing a lot of questions as usual. Right now, I have just one single chat bubble is showing up at any given moment down here in the corner because YouTube's mobile app kind of sucks, and that's what I'm broadcasting with. So if I don't get the question, please don't take it personally. Relax, it's gonna be okay. I'll hopefully get it back around to it later on. Oh, YouTube, such a beautiful freaking thing. But actually, first off, I wanted to show off a couple of ridiculous pieces that have come across my table, along with some less ridiculous ones recently. The Z Hunter, of course, is good and ridiculous, but this guy is also ridiculous in its own little way. This is the Ratworks Chain Drive Automatic Knife. So check this out. There's a button. When I press the button, the blade comes flying out of there, and it's actually on a chain. It's using a big old coil spring, well, actually two coil springs nested inside here to deploy this guy. This is ridiculous, absolutely and totally freaking nuts. But it is what it is, and so yeah, I've already done the disassembly on this guy. Believe it or not, it wasn't bad. Like in the grand scheme of things, you know, I've had much worse disassemblies of a plain Kershaw. But yeah, this is an interesting little piece right here. Speaking of automatics that are a little bit weird, check this guy out. This is the G&G Hawk Mud Automatic. This is a great knife. This is 100% a spectacular freaking piece. And the reason I say that is because this is the Mud system. It's got the same sealed pivot that the Mud has, except it's missing one crucial thing. It's missing the big ugly thumb studs that didn't need to be on there, and it's also missing the original Mud was great. It had a nice action, but you know, when you get something all covered in gunk and dirt and grime and such, you kind of want it to be in a position where it's, well, easy to deploy reliably. You want this knife to be reliable above all else, and so to fix that, Hawk Knives, along with Millet, have created this little guy where it uses the same lock as the regular one, except this time it's an automatic. It fires out just beautifully every damn time, and it's completely 100% solid in both directions. This is a knife without any play when open or when closed, which is kind of neat, I gotta say. And the action on it is super reliable. It works really, really well. Plus, it's got that same Hawk action. I cannot wait to freaking throw this guy into a pond to give it a little check there. So, yeah, this is an interesting little piece over here. Very, very interested to film my review of it because it's going to be a very nice review. These happen to be Kiefer, my buddy Kiefer, Keith is saying that I'm now into autos. That's kind of, look, I'm trying them out. I'm testing. I'm yet to find an automatic that I really, really love. The ProTech Magic was great. Absolutely. But I still don't necessarily feel like, okay, you know, what is this automatic, the automaticity, what is this bringing me? What joy am I finding in this? This is actually a really good argument, though, for an automatic deployment, because the automatic means it's got a really strong spring. The fact that it doesn't have any secondary buttons to press or anything means it's extra simple relative to your other, the previous Mud. It will deploy reliably. This is an automatic that makes sense, and because it's using the Hawk Lock, look the freaking simplicity here. It's absolutely beautiful. And so this is an automatic that really does make sense to me in some ways, and I'm really a big fan of that. Out the front automatics, OTFs. Check this little guy right here out. This is a a cheapy little OTF that was gifted to me by a wonderful viewer. Because I didn't have an automatic around. God, this thing's awful. But this is an out the front auto, an OTF, and these have one very very good use, which is for accessibility. If you've got somebody who literally has only one arm, then this is a great knife to use. Well, not this one because this is terrible. But an out the front automatic knife with double action is a really good choice because all you actually need to ever do is use your thumb. You push it out to deploy, you pull it back. Unlike a knife like this guy, where if you're trying to do this one-armed, you're going to have to like try and press this guy down, and then you can do it, but it's not a great plan. Whereas, snickety snick, that works. So that's a very interesting little choice there. One other automatic to talk about right here is this little guy. Now, this is unfortunately, good God, did that thing just break? No, it's just that strong. This is a single action automatic out the front knife. It is really, sorry about how freaking loud this is. This is, I believe, unfortunately, a knockoff. This is also gifted to me by a viewer to show off the single action approach. But with this guy, if I press the button, all that happens is the button flies on out. But then when you pull this back in there, it recompresses the spring and then it flies the rest of the way through. These have a lot of punch to them. I mean, this will push through paper. This will push through a bunch of stuff, which is, well, not great in a lot of ways, although it's good in some situations, I guess. But anyways, this is a very different kind of automatic knife than the out the front I was just showing you, and this has limited use, I think, in a lot of situations. So, but yeah, anyways, those are the automatics in my world at the moment. Automatics are fine, they're fun, they're okay, but at the end of the day, is it really that much faster to use an automatic than just to do this? Hey, speaking of this right here, check this out. This little guy just showed up on my table freaking today. And the guy who said it to me, I can't remember his name because I'm a jerk. But anyways, oh man, my deepest apologies. But anyways, this knife is the ZT 0393. Very, very interesting piece. Hinderer design. It's based roughly on the Hinderer Eclipse. They made a limited edition run of it, and then they decided, you know what, we're going to make it not so limited. Yeah, so here this guy is. Very interesting. Haven't gotten a chance to carry it, haven't gotten a chance to do much of anything with it, but I am looking forward to doing so. Let me see if, can I even scroll? There we go. So Seven Addist asks, oh my God, Marvel comes to me and asks me to design a knife for each of the Avengers and Thanos. What do we see on screen? That is certainly a question there, Seven Addis. Okay, so for the Avengers. Oh, man. So I haven't seen the latest Avengers movie, I gotta say. The last one I saw was Captain America Civil War. By the way, Team Iron Man, just saying. Okay. For the Avengers here, what are my options? I'm thinking Iron Man, actually, there's a pretty good argument for the Hawk Mud. They strike me as kind of mad technical scientist types. Durable, but relying on fancy technology above most other things. Captain America, little puny guy who actually is really freaking strong. I don't know. I'm feeling this Kershaw dividend, actually, because it's got the red backspacer there, so it's red, white, and blue. It's S35VN, American steel. This is made in the freaking USA. Model number is 1812. It's got a freaking flag on it. I can see this right here as Captain America. Black Widow. I don't really have a good Black Widow knife around here. But the ZT0450 CF with the... with the black blade, the DLC, that's your Black Widow knife right there. And actually, Frankie and Bird over at Birdshot IV channel, carries one of those guys in a boot regularly. So yeah, I can see that. What other the Avengers are there here? The Hulk. There's your Hulk. Your Spyderco Shaman. I could go with something a little bit more obvious like the Cold Steel Voyager right here, but unfortunately, although the Z Hunter is pretty compelling, although the Hulk is a little more durable than this is a big, beefy, freaking thick knife, but the thing is, it is singularly effective, and I would not, in fact, want to get this knife angry with me. So, and this is a great knife, absolutely. Who else? Oh, God, I'm running out of Avengers here. What's the guy with the freaking gem in his head? That's probably going to be this little guy right here. Vision, I think it is. Yeah. So he is. This has got to be the Vision because it's all fancy and whatnot. It's got weird powers that make everybody look at it a little bit weird, and it can probably melt people with his brain. I don't know. I haven't actually tried it. Let's see here. Thor. I think we're gonna need to go with Thor right over here because this is covered in Thor pattern Damascus. It's not a right. This is not the Thor choice, but it's got Thor's colors and it's Thor Damascus. So I don't think this is the correct answer, but I think if I left it out, I would be a Thor loser. Oh man, other knives. There was that one knife that had the hammer built into it. Thor could be the Grimsmo. Thor could be the Rask. No, I mean, I can see that. Actually, said you're right. Thor and Grimsmo does make a lot more sense. I don't know if I had a Thor pattern Grimsmo Norseman, I think that would be pretty excellent. And then the Rask is a lot like the Norseman, but it's a little bit more low key. Get it? Yeah. Oh, Ari got it. Oh, with the stream delay, it's great to figure out the jackasses who are figuring this out ahead of me. Who else? Who else am I missing here? Let's see here. Hawk Mud for Hawkeye. No, because Hawkeye is all like crazy freaking. Maybe the Booze Smoke is a nice Hawkeye knife. I feel like this is pretty decent for Hawkeye. It's all pointy. It even looks like a freaking arrow. So I'm thinking that's my Hawkeye choice right there. I don't actually know what a Star-Lord is, so I'm going to go on ahead and... yeah, I got nothing for a Star-Lord. Who the heck else is... like I said, I haven't seen a lot of these movies lately. Booze Blade's Arrow. Yeah, that would... Somebody just said, no, it's the Booze Blade's Arrow for Hawkeye because he shoots arrows. Oh, boy. Bradley Zippo Tips and Tricks just says, watches, question mark. No, do not get into watches. Bad idea. This, no, bad. If you're wondering why I'm saying this, watch my do not get into watches video. All will become clear to you. So the answer to watches is no, do not get into watches. Let's see here. I've got a bunch of people just trolling. Joel Miller asks, am I going to be checking out the Grimsmo pen? Yeah, absolutely. So Grimsmo knives, the folks behind this little guy right here, as well as this little guy right here, they are working on a pen. I'm very, very curious to see how that's going to go. They are fledgling pen designers, even though they're great knife designers. And so I'm a little bit concerned that they might make common pen mistakes or pick a stupid refill or something like that. But they are actually good friends with Jason Hoy. I can't... Oh, as a Russian speaker, I can't say that guy's name. But anyways, Jason Hoy over at Prometheus Lights designed this little guy, the Prometheus Alpha pen, which is a great pen. So I'm hoping that he'll offer them some good advice on how to do it right. But I will absolutely pick up a Grimsmo pen when it happens, if nothing else, because I kind of have to at this point. So, yeah, I got to... let's see here. Mars Jaws is asking R2-D2 over the Modus. So, R2-D2, of course, referring to this little guy. This is the Ontario Rat number 2 in D2 steel. Pardon me. He's asking about this over the Modus. This over the Modus for me every day of the week. Look, this knife over pretty much anything steel wheel makes. I'm going to be honest with you. I like the Cut Jack 3-inch a lot. I think it's a great piece, but this is just so damn good. The 3.5-inch Cut Jack is, I think, in a nicer position, honestly, because this is just freaking huge, the Rat 1D2. So I would probably, though, go with this guy. And the Modus, I had one on my table. Steel Wheel's got some quality issues going on at the moment. So I'm hoping that they get that all resolved. But great question there, buddy. Reserved your Vision metal pen in copper. It's sweet. Did you get one? No, I didn't get one, but I have one, so case freaking closed. This little guy right here. Let's see here. Mitch Powell asks, are you ever going to check out the Protect Cambria? I want to. So look, guys, I'm in a situation right now. It is a good situation. I love this freaking situation. Of all of the situations I've been in, this is among the better of them. But the thing is, my life has gotten pretty excellent lately. I've got a lot of things going right for me. I have to be kind of vague about things, but I got a lot of stuff coming up here. For instance, I may be picking up a new piece of EDC coming up one of these days here soon. Similarly, Well, there may be some other big changes in store for you, Nick Shabazz. But as a result, I am absolutely and totally behind on loaners and on picking up new gear. And in fact, I've stopped the loaners to a trickle. This is the first one I've accepted in a little while here. Actually, it's not true. I've been getting them in and out, but I'm only doing like very, very rarely loaners. In fact, I have a very generous offer for a ProTech Cambria loan from a viewer of mine. I've got offers for a bunch of stuff, but right now I am trying so hard to kind of calm it down here. I got a bunch of reviews, and tomorrow, let's be real, even with all this, my entire day is going to be looking like this. Is going to be looking at this guy. It's going to be looking at this pen right over here. What else am I reviewing tomorrow? Oh, good Lord. I have to do a disassembly and maintenance video on this guy and on this guy. And I'll probably do something with your Kaiser Gunhammer over here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but the simple fact is that I am just kind of drowning a little bit. And so as a result, there are a bunch of great knives out there that I just don't have a chance to do. The thing that I'm really, really grateful for, though, is that there are a bunch of great reviewers out there in the world right now, too. There always have been, but, there are folks out there who are getting a chance to look at things and who are giving honest opinions that I'm not having a chance to check out. And so I encourage you, always, always, always look for multiple reviewers. I have biases. I know, it's shocking. Nick Shabazz, biased? Never. And actually, I'm working on a project right now to try and narrow that bias down a little bit more, if you think. But anyways, it's great that there are so many great reviewers out there doing good work lately that people are able to check out and learn from. And even if I'm not able to get something on the table, you can still find things out. Good God, YouTube, this app is screwing me so bad. I'm seeing things just flying by, and I can't even read long comments. What a freaking train wreck. Actually, hold on. Stay. Actually, you're not going anywhere anyways. If I had hold music, I'd be playing it right now. All right, hold on. Let's see if I can pull this off. Can I pull this off? I'm going to try and stream my own live stream on my freaking tablet in the other window so I can see if I can actually get this guy. I don't know that this is going to work. It may explode. But that way I can see the chat live. Oh, come on now. Ask the Nick live. Okay, yeah, that's me. Okay, this is entertaining. Listen. See, you can hear the delay between when I talk and when it lands. That's hilarious. All right, now can I see the chat? Let's see here. Top chat. No, I just want live chat. Hey, holy crap. Looks like I can do it. So, okay. Nickception. Hey, that's awesome. Okay, cool. So I can see the chat over here. And oh man, this is excellent. I'm freaking doing this every time. Although it's really distracting to show myself in the top corner. Okay. Anyways, that's beside the point. Let's see here, Rob. Congrats on this accomplishment. Thank you, JDP. I very much appreciate that. This has been a long time in coming. So Christopher Vaughn is asking me, am I going to get the North Arm Skaha #2? The answer to that is unquestionably yes. And as a matter of fact, I have placed my order. They're working on things, no doubt, and sooner or later I'll drop a review, and it'll probably paralyze the poor guys for years again. But yeah, that's certainly a thing. I'm looking forward to seeing one of those guys, but it hasn't happened quite yet. Good God, I'm watching my hands gesturing like crazy in the corner there. It's distracting as heck. Hold on, just a second here. How do you guys even watch this? Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay, then. Let's see here. Dan Brock asks, Nick, has your fiance seen your face? Well, the thing is, she fell in love with a very specific man. She fell in love with a man with some complexity, with some true, I don't even know how to say it, with a little bit of a dark past. She fell in love with somebody who most people never truly see the belief in. She fell in love with Nick Shabatman. Okay, I digress. Yes, indeed, the fiance has seen my face. Yeah, it took a couple of, for a while there, I just go on dates wearing a bag and waggle my hands around. That's my mating call, by the way. No, I'm not trying to mate here. But yeah, that's the thing. So do you wear a Steve Buscemi mask to bed? What goes on in my bedroom is our business and our business alone. Thank you. Let's see here. Timer Win says, Nick, you said in your videos that you've sworn off knives for homage pieces. Would you review something designed by them, made by something more reputable? So Timer Win 63, thanks for that question. So Knives is a company. It's one of these Chinese micro brands. There are about a bazillion of them out there right now, at the moment. And the thing is, look, I have no problem with them. Like I certainly. I never want to come across like I have a problem with Chinese knife companies or something like that. No, not remotely. There's a Wee Knives, there's a Kaiser right here. I'm sure there's a Rayard around here someplace. Probably, I don't freaking know. Either way, I got no problem with Chinese-made knives. But the problem that I do have is with lazy design. When people just take somebody else's design and do that. This is something that I struggle with, though, because it's often hard to draw the line. I've made hard and fast calls in the past, and kind of angered me because they tend to be very quick with the homages. Shortly after the Militorant came out, they dropped a knife that was just like, okay, guys, no, it's lazy as heck. Yet at the same time, there are watch brands that are doing homages on a regular basis. Wintermute says, is that really what you want to represent Kaiser? Two weird guys right on the table here. But anyways, it's hard to make that call, though, because, like, okay, in the watch world, homages are really well known. There are lots of companies that make homages. Steinhardt mostly does homages. The piece I reviewed from them was a little less homage-y, so that made it a little bit easier. But the thing is, it's hard to know where to draw that line. For me, the bigger issue, honestly, with a lot of these little micro brands is that, it's hard to get them through legitimate means. Very often, they're sold through companies that I'm not even going to name, but that very often sell like direct counterfeit sorts of merchandise. And so I don't want to send people to companies like that because then they're going to look at that and they're going to say, oh, hey, wow, that's a great price on a PM2 if they're, well, not brilliant men or women, so to speak. But that's, to me, more of a bigger issue. I'm not a big fan of that whole world. But the thing is... Like, sure, if they hadn't angered me by dropping a couple of really similar homage pieces really quickly, I don't know. It's hard to tell. That's something I'm always evaluating, and especially in the watch world. What is an homage, what isn't? But anyways, there you go. That's not really a great answer to the question, but it is certainly a thing. Let's see here. How's the Vipre Shop review going? Wyatt Broom says. Wyatt, actually, that review has filmed already. It just hasn't gotten a chance to air. I've been building up a stock of reviews just because, well, I got a bunch of stuff going on, so I want to have uninterrupted content. But the Vipre Shop review has been filmed. My ultimate... Hashtag spoiler alert, because I've talked about it before. My ultimate feelings on the Vipre Shop is that it's a solid system, but the thing is, it's got a couple of pain points. It's got a couple of things that other systems like the Edge Pro or KME have ways to address that it doesn't. And so as a result, it's a great system. You can put a great edge on a knife. Do I have a knife that I put an edge on? Yeah, the Cricket... this little guy. I put a Vipre Shop edge on it. Cuts like the freaking Dickens. I don't know what the Dickens cuts like, but it sure does. Yet at the same time, for me, I think I would prefer to do the KME just because it's got a couple of things fixed. Let's see here. So YouTube has a thing where it holds messages for review. And somebody, Diriun, just said, why are you stroking your eschaton? The reason I'm stroking the old eschaton is because this has a really weird texture in the back. You can see this has been like laser burned into it. And it felt really weird. And so that's why I'm stroking the old eschaton here. But YouTube held that for review. Because I think it assumed that stroking the old eschaton is not exactly a... it's not a safe for YouTube sort of activity. Anyways, there went the monetization. Whatever. Such is life. Let's see here. Let's see. Can't decide between the current Seamaster Pro or the refresh to come out this morning. This summer, that is. Been debating this decision for a few weeks now. He's asking about this little guy. This is the Omega Seamaster Professional 300. This is a watch that I reviewed, I owned, and then I sold because I'm an idiot, and then I ended up buying again. And not like I ended up buying this watch, this model of watch again, but no, I contacted the guy I sold it to, who I'm happy to say was interested in parting with it due to some, just wanting some money. And so I paid him what he paid me, basically, and I got this watch back. So I love the Seamaster 300. This is a quartz watch, but it's also a beautiful watch, but it works great. So that's the Seamaster Pro. Omega just dropped a new version with the newer master coaxial movement. It's a little thicker, unfortunately. It's a little heavier, unfortunately. It's a little bigger, unfortunately. And unfortunately, it doesn't have things like independent hour hand in the 8900 movement. I'm a little torn. I like that they brought the wavy dial back, although in a very different way. I'm going to need to see that one in person to make that call. So there you go. Let's see here. Hey, Eric, good to see you. That's my buddy Eric just stopped in. Never catch these because he works nights. That's a shame. Let's see. What is the most I have spent on a knife? Asks Ryan Brown. So the amount of money that I have plunked, that the biggest amount of money I have plunked down, actually was the Shiro 111. Although I actually got this guy. Oh yeah, John Treadway says just say no to watches. Yes, this is true. My apologies. I should have made that clear. But the most money I've slapped down on a table, so to speak, was for a Shiro 111. Actually went to my buddy Nicolas, who but I bought it because he was going to buy it off me. But that was like $10,000. No, 1050 or 1100, someplace like that. The most money I've spent on a knife personally for my collection is this little guy. This is the Alambic Egyptian engraved swish. It's hand engraved. It's absolutely ridiculous and over the top, and I freaking love it. This is a great knife, and it's a beautifully done knife. Oh man, do I like this freaking knife? It's just absolutely beautiful. So yeah, this is the most money, and this was actually $9.99, which is funny because it's like, no, honey, I didn't spend $1,000 on a knife. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that was that. That's what Nick's face looks like. Yes, it looks like a freaking owl, or a falcon, I suppose. So there you go. Rah rah rah. Nice. Alec Blunt asks, any new Patreon plans? Alec, it's a good question. So, Patreon-wise, yeah, I've got all kinds of plans. I've got some sales coming up here soon. Here we go. This right here, right now, is my big bag of Patreon sales. Some of which are going to be, actually, a couple of these will not be sold. Some of them will be given away for charities and whatnot. And some of these will be just given to people because they are utter and total crap. But nevertheless, that's a lot of freaking metal. That's Patreon stuff. And so I'll always be doing sales. I've been a little lax in that lately just because the world's been kicking my ass. But that's one of my Patreon's goals. And then I have, of course, goals as I have more and more support. I do want to do an under $20 knife challenge, which you'll be seeing a good entry in. Or I'm sorry, that you saw yesterday, the that freaking the leprosy knife. This guy. Oh, where the heck are you, leprosy knife? Here we are. This little guy. Here, this is a really good one. But my Patreon patrons, it's patreon.com/Nick Shabazz, really have made this channel possible in a very real way. Because not only do I not care as much about YouTube demonetizing things, but also it just makes it a lot easier. Because, every weekend, basically, for the last year and a half, I've spent most of my weekend doing gear review stuff. It works out well. The fiance works weekends, I work during the week, and so, but the thing is, spending 48 hours, well, okay, maybe not 48 hours, but still, 20 hours a weekend doing, gear reviews doesn't make a lot of sense unless there's, you're making a little bit of something from it, because passion sometimes takes a back seat. Actually, I've been meaning to talk about this a little bit, because the funny thing about being a gear reviewer is that you're very often not carrying good gear. I mean, there are definitely exceptions, for sure. Like, okay, this little ZT guy, well, I'm carrying this, so I'm going to be carrying something that's absolutely good to go. But then there are days where you've got a a Kershaw button lock, speed safe knife that's like super freaking thick behind the edge and in a terrible steel. And these are not the greatest knives that are out there. And so very often it's a little bit frustrating. And look, I hate to be, I'm not complaining here. I do love what I'm doing here, but it is occasionally kind of a pain in the neck. Um, and so sometimes when you're just sitting there, like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I look at my freaking knife drawer and I'm seeing like jam, 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 jam. I could carry all these magnificent tools and I'm picking up this guy. That's the time when I remember just how much my Patreon patrons love what I'm doing, and it feels a lot better. So that's what it is. People are asking me, am I wearing matching socks today? No. There you go. Hashtag foot reveal. This is a joke, of course, from my review of that ridiculous freaking dry bag thing, where I very clearly showed that I don't personally find it to be useful to flexibility. No, I stood up. I'd like to make that very, very clear. But yeah, I don't find it personally useful to sort my socks by coloration. I just buy socks, I put socks on. Nobody has judged me for it yet, and frankly, time spent sorting socks is time spent doing crap that doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm a yogi only in the bear sense. And actually, I'm not necessarily smarter than your average bear, so I don't know. But that's okay. Let's see here. Any opinions on the Spyderco Clipper tools? These are a brand new thing that Spyderco did. It is a multi-tool sort of thing from Spyderco that you clip to things, hence the Clipper tool. Here's a Spyderco Shaman, just as a reference, Spyderco. Unfortunately, it's kind of underdone. It's 8CR13. It's interesting, but it's just like, am I going to pay that money? No, probably not. It'd be more interesting to me if it were, going to be done in golden, with nice, that would be excellent because then you get a really nice multi-tool with a really nice knife. But it's a thing. So yeah, no one. The Prof Nolan says nobody judged you for wearing mismatched socks until you did it on YouTube. Indeed, doing anything on YouTube is a great way to get judged. So yeah, that's a great question. But yeah, that's my feelings on the Clip It tool. Let's see here. Noah Atkins asks, "What's my stance on Damasteel and Damascus?" Well, right here I got a nice chunk of Damasteel style blade here. This is Damasteel. Damasteel is a brand name. Actually, hold on, we got a freaking educational moment coming on right here. Do you feel the education? The education is going to be just flying at your head right now. This is a Damasteel brand of Damascus, and this is just a regular Damascus blade. So you can see here, both of these are pattern welded steel. The other day, I got a comment from a guy who was absolutely really fun at parties, who said, "Nick, you're lying. You're telling people incorrect information because Damasteel, you see, Damasteel was never actually found. This was an ancient, Damascus steel was something that was created by ancient Syrians, and we have not yet been able to duplicate the material and chemical properties of this freaking steel," and on and on and on and on and on. And look, yes, that's true. We don't know exactly what made Syrian Damascus steel. But the problem is Damascus steel has become a term for this kind of pattern welded steel, where two different alloys of steel are folded together. And pardon me, and they etch differently, so you get this nice little contrast here. This is one kind of Damascus steel, so you can see it has a little bit less sheen to it. This is another kind. This is Damasteel brand Damascus steel by the Damasteel company, out of the Sweden sort of thing. But the thing with Damasteel and Damascus steels in general is that they are not the highest performing steels out there. Damasteel, specifically the brand name stuff, uses two very nice steels. They use RWL34, same steel in the Norseman, then I believe PSF27, which is another high quality steel. And as a result, you end up with a blade that is very, very good. And it is stainless. That is the big thing. Damasteel is stainless, whereas this guy is not necessarily stainless. And so that's a big distinction there. Pardon me. But, otherwise, Damascus is, a fair to middling kind of steel. And especially you can get like Pakistani sorts of stuff where it's pattern welded, but yeah, it's freaking awful. And so not saying that all Pakistani knives are awful. I'm just saying there is a pretty heavy majority of imported Pakistani knives that are not so great. That doesn't reflect poorly on the country of Pakistan, except that the stuff that they're sending over here knife-wise not doing so swinging usually. So, anyways, that's a thing. That's my feelings on Damascus and Damasteel in general. It's nice, absolutely, but if you're looking for out and out performance, you're better off finding a steel like 20CV. Which is this steel right here, or M390, those kinds of things. Even S35 VN will generally outperform your Damasteels, your Damascus, etc. It is eye candy. That's a nice way to put it there, the John Treadway. Absolutely, it is eye candy. So, anyways, but it's beautiful freaking eye candy. This guy was actually in my pocket today because I freaking love it. This knife, it's just so freaking gorgeous with this blue in here and the, oh man, this is a Millet Torrent, by the way, Damasteel on Damasteel, absolutely great. So, yeah, there you go. Let's see here. Lots of people nerding out about steel. That's awesome. Delaminations and whatnot. Good to go. What are some knives I crushed on hard only to fall out of love? Asks Wintermute. Well, Wintermute, that's a great question. What are knives that I crushed on, wanted, then I got it. It was just like, nope. God, that's a great question, and I want to have a good answer because I know there's stuff out there. Good God. Well, what's like that? Oh, I feel terrible not having a great answer for you here immediately. There have been definitely knives, like, okay, as is the case with many young knife people. When I first saw the word of the Sebenza, it was like, oh my God, the Sebenza, that right there. I mean, it's got Benz in the name. How can it be bad? Although it's not spelled. Is it? Yeah, it is spelled like that. Anyways, that was a knife that I wanted to love, and I loved until I actually got one, and then it was like, oh, especially the small one. The large one's good, but yeah. So that's definitely among them. What other knives have been excellent and then terrible? Oy, oy, oy. Yeah, I got nothing there. Let's see here. Mercedes-Benz, nice. Clayton Parfumos asks, hey, Nick, Benchmade proper or Northwoods Michigan Jack? The proper answer to that is the Benchmade proper. The reason I say that is because you can't freaking get a Northwoods Michigan Jack. There is exactly one way to buy a Northwoods knife, and that is to log onto their website at the time of the prescribed drop, then realize that they have all sold out within 30 seconds, and then go pay twice as much on eBay, because that's where they're all going anyways. Unfortunately, Northwoods and a lot of the traditional sorts of knives have that feeling of just like, it's absolutely freaking helpless. You want the knife, you go on eBay in case freaking closed, because everybody who's buying them is just scalping them. It's ugly as freaking sin, and I hate to see that being the case. It's a hard problem to solve because it just boils down to people are jerks. But unfortunately, that's Northwood's biggest problem, is that it's really hard to get them. And so the Benchmade proper in the Micarta especially is a very nice little choice. It's not as slicey as the Northwoods. It's not a traditional knife. It needs some love. I've got a Benchmade proper review up, but you can actually buy a Benchmade proper, whereas the Northwood Michigan Jack, you can not buy most of the time, and then sometimes you can get bent over by some jackass on eBay and pick one up. So there you go. Landon Blazer is asking me top 3 knife reviewers. Landon, that's a great question. So, absolutely, I'd say number 1, I love Frankie and Bird over at the Birdshot IV channel, because they're great. Birdshot the 4th, I suppose they want me to say. If I'm shouting them out, I might as well freaking do it right. But they're great. And the reason I say that is because they're really entertaining. Like, they are, the people who I know love knives. They're people who are very genuine. They love the joy that they have for each other is great. And so even if they're not like the hardest, like hardcore reviewers, they're not like nitpicking everything to death. I love watching this stuff. They're super nice. I consider them to be friends. And so it's really, they're great. Next mention has got to go to Pete over at Cedric Ada Gear and Outdoors. He is absolutely a better knife reviewer than I am. 100%. Pete is way freaking better at knife reviewing than I am. And if he starts doing more videos, I am just hosed because he's better at it. He does steel testing, he does science, I mean, he is a serious user of these knives. And that, I think, lends him an air of credibility and an air of bro science that's absolutely spectacular. So he is just great at this, and he's hilarious. I watch whatever he does. And so I support Pete on Patreon. I support Frankie and Bert on Patreon too, for that matter. But they're all great. And so there you go. Third favorite knife reviewer at this point. There are a lot of really good ones out there. Advanced Knife Bro is pretty hilarious. I like him slightly more for flashlights even. Because he does a lot of flashlight reviews and he does just ridiculous crap. Speaking of ridiculous crap with flashlights, check this out. This is the Olight X7R Marauder. Oh, but it's a neat light. It's got a USB-C recharge in the back here, and it's brighter than, well, here. Like, I'm pointing this at the ceiling, and it's blowing out the camera. This thing is completely freaking nuts. But he's got a good review of this guy, I believe, and he's just, I like his style. So, yeah, he's a hilarious guy. You should check him out. Also, there's Journeyman Junk. Tony over at Everyday Commentary is great. I'm on the Gear Geeks Live podcast with him regularly. It's geargeekslive.com. But there you go. Let's see here. Any love for ceramic blades? Asked Kyle Bielafield. Not really. No, there's a reason we use steel. It works. It's easy to sharpen. You can do good stuff with them. They're fine for some purposes, especially in the kitchen. They're pretty decent. You cut mostly veggies, but hey, steel is so good. Why? Why do anything else? Seriously, guys, why? Who is my favorite watch reviewer? Asked Dave Glana. Oh, that's tough. Theo and Harris are pretty decent. They've got a channel. Federico talks watches. He's a nice guy, pretentious as heck sometimes. Like, what's a great budget-friendly 3-watch collection under $10,000? Like, are you on crack? What is your budget world? He's a little, but I like some of what he's got to say, and he will occasionally drop the pretense and railings and things. Who else? Watch reviewers that are good. Oh, what's the guy? He had a Gerber paraframe on his table at one point in time during a Rolex review, and it was just like, you cannot have this and a high-end freaking knife or watch on the table. It doesn't work that way. I forget his freaking name. But yeah, so he's a good guy. I have a bunch of I have a whole playlist full of people who are who I like, who review everyday carry gear. So yeah. Urban Gentry, of course, is a very interesting watch reviewer. Of course, you have to get the gloves out and everything like that. He is a rather pretentious individual, but that's okay. Anyways, yeah, that's a joy. Let's see here. What kind of wallet do I carry? A leather one. It was made by a guy named Bentley Shaves. Rob Bentley. I think I follow him on Instagram. Pretty decent wallet, just a little bifold sort of thing. Don't actually have it in my pocket, so there you go. Do you think the Norseman will decrease in price with Grimm's Most speeding up their creation? Yeah, I actually have a whole video on price increases where I talk a little bit about this, so you should go on ahead and watch that guy. Thoughts on the Pilot Metropolitan? Got a review of that guy coming up one of these damn days. When you said, let's see here. Any luck with customer service at Giant's Mouse? Yeah, they've been fine when I've talked to them, but they also know who I am, so, you know, who knows. Less Than Ryan's asking about Orient watches. They do impressive work. I've not actually had a chance to handle one of them, but I'm on it. I think I'm going to ask my buddy Josh over at Journeyman Junk to send me one of his to check out. Thoughts on Ken Onion? Great knife designer. Absolutely great knife designer. Would it kill him to use a straight line for once? Just saying there, Ken. Once, please. Just one. That's all I ask. But no, he does incredible work. Absolutely 100%. Let's see here. Wintermute, is there a category of gear that you've never understood beyond basic functionality? He mentions wallets. That's a great question. Wintermute. Okay, brass knuckles. I don't freaking get it. No. What? Why? Why? You see these guys, and I've given this rant before, but you see these guys in a pocket dump where they've got like knife, tactical pen. They've got like a freaking 45 auto gun with like 18 freaking rounds and an extra magazine, and then they've got a brass knuckle. Oh, I'm sorry, Wintermute. Wintermute is a she, of course. I sometimes forget. But anyways, then they've got freaking brass knuckles. Brass freaking knuckles. Like, in what universe? Like, let's talk me through this here, hypervigilance, man. And mind you, I understand hypervigilance, but still, in what situation have you expended all of that ammunition that you're lugging around every damn day, used all of your knives, you've tactical penned your way out of there, your tactical flashlight has failed you, and then at this point, you decide it's time to take a snail-shaped brass knuckle and put down the smack? Really? Really? Is this what's going on here? No, you've just got a piece of freaking crap in your everyday carry that's going to be illegal in every other state and freaking just get you arrested someday. But anyways, I freaking digress. Knucks drive me nuts. I occasionally will have people email me like, hey, Nick, I'm releasing a brand new knuck. Do you want to check it out? And it's like, no. Why? Why are you doing this? Why? Anyways, that's beside the point, though, entirely. What if the brass knuckles have an integrated folding blade? There is exactly one pair of brass knuckles that I appreciate. Hold on, I will show you. I will show you the only pair of brass knuckles that is useful, that has any real purpose in the world. The only pair of brass knuckles that has a greater functionality, that is actually worth using. And that is right here. Oh, yeah. The Z hatchet. This, my friends, if you can't decide whether you want to carry an axe or a brass knuckle, right here, you are all freaking set. And it's a can opener, because if you slash this at the can, it's going to open it. So anyways, and right here, this for the over-prepared EDC, this right here, that's the one thing you're missing from your EDC. So there you go. Yeah. I thought brass knuckles were illegal. Is that a state thing, or is he just carrying a blade or a belt buckle? Yeah, so the thing is, brass knuckles are illegal in a lot of places, but they're always like, no, officer, it's a bottle opener. Like, that's gonna freaking work. Yeah, okay there. Sure thing. Good job there, Johnny Law. Better call freaking Saw. Yeah, okay. Whatever. So it's a state thing, absolutely. But that doesn't mean that you're not an idiot. That's beside the point, though. How about a belt buckle with a knife built in? Daddy OEDC, all of these things that it's like, I get it. You're tactical. I get it. Your drag is low and your speed is high. Like, I get it. Totally. You have 15 different ways that you could address an adversary. But no, past the point. Come on. It's nuts. Your belt buckle that turns into a knife. Like, oh, I've got a boot knife and I got a cane knife and I got like, what, again, tell me your use case for this. Help me understand in what situation. Anyways, I digress. Belt buckle with a knife built in, Wintermute says. Sounds awfully Freudian. Yeah, good point there, Wintermute. Alrighty. Let's see here. Then every time you need your knife, your pants fall down. We'll see. The thing is, though, you can slide the boot knife through the button holes there and keep them up. Oh, man. Anyways, that's beside the point. So a bunch of people are asking me about London. So London is now doing stop and frisk searches because they're even more scared about knives. My only question here is, what are they distracting people from? Every time you see a new round of fear-based lawmaking or people trying to demonize something that's going on, ask yourself, what are they trying to distract me from? Every time that there's a new terrorist threat or there's a new, oh my God, immigrants, oh my God, guns, oh my God. What are you trying to distract people from? Just look, when they make you look over here, look over there. Look what else they're trying to figure out. That's all I'm asking in London. What are they trying to distract people from with this? There you go. Case freaking closed. So, anyways, don't give in to fear-based lawmaking. That's beside the point entirely. Yeah. So, going deep state, don't even get me freaking started. But fear-based lawmaking is a thing on every side of every political debate. Keeping in mind, let's see here. My friends don't understand how I can appreciate a knife other than its ability to cut. How could you explain appreciation of details and quality control in a higher end piece? This guy does stuff. That's a great question. The simple way is to show him a Z Hunter and show him a Grimm's Norseman and show them that, well, there's a slight difference here, and just get them point out the details. I mean, show them things like, wow, look at this engraving. Or even show them on a nice and not like a production sort of thing. The ZT450. This is a really, really nice production knife with a lot of great details. And if you're going to walk it through them, yeah, some people are just going to go, yeah, well, does it cut things? Well, unfortunately, it's a ZT, so not so much. But the thing is, you can still show them that, wow, there is joy here. Some people will never get it. They may never get it, but that's okay. Screw them. At the end of the day. Well, I mean, not like that. Unless you're into it, then, have fun, consenting adults and whatnot. But that's beside the point there. Let's see here. WJ Blocks. One of my friends carries 3 different knives and a tactical pen. I'm afraid he doesn't have a tactical air freshener, so that's going to be a problem. He also locks the doors whenever he's driving because he's scared someone will attack him in his car. Right? That's not completely implausible. But anyways, he's a bit paranoid. You will see people who talk about, like, I deeply remember one day stumbling upon in a forum at one point in time, somebody legitimately asked the question, where do you keep your gun while you're in the shower? And then somebody else, like this cavalcade of posts. And by the way, holy crap, guys, that question. Like if you're James Bond, sure. But then this cavalcade of posts just starts rolling in with people showing like a Ziploc baggie with a Glock in it hanging from the shower caddy. Or like, a holster sitting on the, like... there were either a great many people with like serious active threats against their lives or a great many people who probably need to talk to somebody about that. Because holy crap, guys, seriously, that's beside the point. Just look, whether you've got, lock your damn doors. Case closed. Anyways, that's beside the point. This coming from a guy who just showered with a backpack. Well, that is actually a very good way to do that. That's beside the point. Anyways, knife channels are already being cracked down on YouTube. Yeah, that's the thing. Look, it is very, very possible that YouTube is going to knock out gun and knife channels from their shows, from the channels at some point in time here. It may happen. There's a reason I'm doing a lot of watch content, partly because it's like, guys, I'm not just knife channel. In a lot of ways, I'm a knife channel, but yeah, it's beside the point. But, when that happens, we'll figure out what's next. You'll hear from me. Let's see here. Yeah. Message retracted. I didn't even know you could do that. Look, there is nothing to fear but fear itself. That's not true. There's plenty of crap to fear, but you should fear your own fearing of it very much too. Because fear is the very best way to manipulate people, which comes back to that earlier answer, just saying. Anyways, let's see here. Do I ever go hunting? What knife or gear would I take? Yeah, just today, actually, I was really hungry at work, and I wanted a freaking payday bar. And so I went out hunting for this payday bar, and I went to every damn shop probably within 3 or 4 blocks, and eventually I found one that had a payday bar. And so what I was carrying for that, I was carrying the Millet Knives torrent here, which worked really well. I had this little guy here. My hunting pen in that case was where'd you go? This little guy here, which is very excellent in case I need to tactically sign a receipt in that process. And then this guy was very effective actually at skinning the payday bar because the bag stuck to the caramel at one point in time. So yeah, that's the people are coming at me with Baby Ruth over payday. Look, just coat the damn thing with chocolate. It's already peanuts. It's already caramel. Call me. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, Zebra F701 here. Great hunting pen. Absolutely 100%. Excellent. So, but no, in terms of actual hunting with actual animals, I do not hunt. I have no beef with people who do. And frankly, I think it's a very, if you're going to eat meat, there's a really ethical way to go about it because there at least the animal lost. It's like, you got yourself a deer, and clearly this wasn't a top of the line deer if it was able to be hunted like that. So at that point, it's just like, you had your chance there, deer, and boom, there it went. But anyways, that's beside the point. Let's see here. Who is Gassia, me or the fiance? The fiance actually does. Well, I love her deeply, but she does a great deal of driving to her work, and so as a result, she uses a great deal of gasoline. And so as a result, I end up, filling up the car regularly when she's not using, etc. So, yes. Oh, you were talking about something else. It's beside the point. Let's see here. It's the circle of life when the mute is singing. Alrighty. Top of the line deer. Where can I buy a certified pre-owned deer? The side of the highways in Michigan are pretty. They're filled with some pretty pre-owned deer. That's beside the point. Let's see here. Let's see. Surfing. Sir Kelly. Circle E. Circle Lee? I have no idea how you say your name. Says, I may be in the middle of a fever dream or something. Could well be. But I recall me enjoying watching speedruns, games done quick. These are where people go on YouTube or other services and run through games very, very, very quickly. And spend a lot of time up them. Yeah, that's a joy for me. Absolutely 100%. There are a lot of channels I just love who do that kind of thing, or who are just really good at playing video games that I really, really suck at. And so absolutely. Favorite kinds of speed runs to watch? I've been loving Link to the Past randomizer runs lately. There's a joy there. Ryukahr, Ryukahr. Like the car, but not the ones that hit the deer on the side of the highway that are pre-owned at this point. He's a gem. He does a lot of great stuff. So there you go. I am no longer really a gamer because I just don't have time. Yeah, so there you go. Me and the missus' favorite cookie. Favorite cookie? Oh, man. Now you're asking, like, pointed questions here. Favorite cookie? I do love me a white chocolate macadamia nut cookie. This is true. There's a lot of joy to be found in oatmeal raisin. Good old-fashioned chocolate chip or snickerdoodle. Actually, no, snickerdoodle. It even has Nick in the name. How could I have denied my snickerdoodle love? I'm a snickerdoodle man. As for her, she's anything with peanut butter. Look, I love her deeply, but she is just like a total, let's put it this way. She's a big, big fan of peanut butter. If you want to, like, some people have the van thing, the free candy. Like, if you want to catch the fiance, you put a van on the side, you say free peanut butter, she's in there. And so for her, it's going to be any kind of peanut butter cookie. She is just a gigantic wall for peanut butters, and she knows it, and she's okay with it. So there you go. Let's see here. Snickerdoodles indeed. It's snick. It's no DF as a cookie indeed. Let's see here. Have I ever tried freehand sharpening? I have indeed. I'm good at it with straight razors because you lay it down so the angle is controlled, but on regular knives, I am just not skilled enough. I mean, am I steady today? Yeah, I'm reasonably steady today. That's good. But I'm not hand-eye coordinated enough to pull it off really well. So there you go. Let's see here. Maximet people are asking me about. I actually didn't mind it. It's kind of creepy and how good it is. A bit of a pain in the neck to shop in, absolutely, but it holds an edge freaking forever. I got a video coming about that one of these damn days. Let's see here. Have I ever had a knife break while using it? Yep. What else? If I ever tried covering myself with peanut butter to entice the fiance. Sorry. Who asks that? Well, actually, EDC with Aaron asks that. Okay, moving on. Right back at the back at the ranch. Okay. So any plans to check out the new PPT Sprint? Um, no, Sprint runs are hard. Sprint runs are hard because they run out of. Anyways, they're out of production by the time you finish it. Like I can review this and it's already gone. Same thing with the Northwoods. It's like so at some level, yeah, I'd love to check one out, but at another level, why would I do that when I can get something that's going to be available in a week and a half? So yeah. Anyways, now all kinds of people are speculating. Let's see here. Okay, back at the ranch. Oh, she's. We're just not going to tell her about this little live stream now, are we? Anyways, what about that whole Blade Works Spectre? Hey, that's a good question that doesn't involve peanut butter in any way. That's a nice knife. Frankie and Bird have it at the moment. It's on their channel. Watch their unboxing video from the other day. It is apparently just as nice as a Shirogorov. Sorry. But anyways, it's a great knife. And it's got a nice blade shape. I tend to like these kinds of blade shapes with the flat here, because they're great for like, cutting or spreading peanut butter. Anyways, that's beside the point. Oh, good God. The number of peanut butter jokes are just going out of freaking control in here. George Washington Carver is like smiling from his grave. Anyways, that's beside the. Good God, that's an obscure ass piece of American history. Yeah. Anyways, that's completely and totally behind the point. I wonder how that would work well for. Come to think of it, if it didn't go rancid, peanut butter wouldn't be a bad grease for a knife like this. I think it'd be very smooth. These jokes and nuts. Anyways, yeah. The other day I posted a picture on Instagram of the hawk mud spreading butter on bread, and it worked well, actually, I gotta say. No edge damage you can see there, which is nice. Absolutely. Let's see here. Peanut butter is horrible for your teeth. Really? Actually, I don't give a crap. Sorry, Hermie. Hermie the dentist says that. I appreciate very much your viewership, but I just don't give a crap. Look, you're talking to a guy who regularly drinks Diet Mountain Dew. If I had any self-worth or concern, and regularly handles this, if I had any concern for myself, I would not do that. But the nice thing about that is that, like, my death certificate is going to be really easy. Unless I'm, like, sucked into a jet engine or something like that on a regular basis. The coroner is going to have a really easy time, because no matter what kills me, he can just write down Diet Mountain Dew, and it's going to be accurate. Let's just be real here. Anyways, that's beside the point there. Another question, if that's cool. Considering I'm an EDC guy, what are my thoughts on cargo pants? They're fine. They work well. They carry a lot of cargo. The more you put in them, the more problematic it gets. But, and the fiance has sort of put the kibosh on really using those cargo pants, because good God, could I go cargo? I mean, seriously, like, okay. Hashtag cargo pants. They'd fit. But anyways, that's beside the point. Are you kidding me? I'm either getting trolled or somebody's. All right. That's beside the point. So cargo pants are they're not a great idea there. Yeah. Why diet then? Treddy is asking. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a chubby bunny. Too much peanut butter. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, am I a fan of Mass Drop? Any thoughts on the Ferrum Forge Weebuck flipper? Yes and no. I didn't used to like Mass Drop. They screwed me a couple of times early on. They had some customer service issues, and I wasn't sure how they were going to handle I'm not sure how they were going to handle the new knife releases stuff. That's not a great thing. But the thing is, they've been handling them pretty well, all told. And so I'm sort of in this stage where it's like, okay, yeah, I guess they're all right. And I've looked at some of this stuff. I'm going to be looking at more of it in the future. So there you go. Anyways, actually, guys, I think I'm going to go on ahead and bail. I've been doing this for about an hour, and I hope this has been interesting to you. Thank you very much for never mentioning the contents of this live stream to the fiance. And I hope that you guys have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, everybody. Bye now.